Alright, so we're gonna get our laser cutter connected, powered on, all that fun stuff. One, you got laser power back here. Click that button. You can hear it humming. You've got the water pump that's already going, and you've got the filter that's already going. We're gonna turn the laser cutter on right here. This key usually lives behind the front desk, right by the iPad. We'll lift this guy up, and there's about 3 things that you need to check here. One, we want to make sure we've got airflow coming out of right where the laser comes out, basically. So I'm going to stick my hand under there. That red dot's just a targeting laser. So I can feel air coming out of that. That helps make sure that smoke doesn't gather on the lens. 2, I'm going to shove my hand way back there, and I can feel air suction. That's going to pull smoke out of the laser cutter and run it through that filter over there. 3, I'm going to check. There's this orange tape connected to this tube, and that's going to be shoving water back into this 5-gallon bucket here, and that helps cool the laser cutter. So that's got water coming out of it, so we're good. Again, that's the orange tape one. So if you forget all these things, this is all reflected on the desktop of this computer right here. So it doesn't tell you specifics, but it gives you the basic idea. So we've checked airflow coming out, airflow going back in. We've checked the 5-gallon bucket over there. Next thing we're going to do, before we actually put our material in here, we're going to do a test to see what this guy's running at. So I'm going to hit both these buttons. This will actually fire the laser cutter, so you want to make sure to have this lid down, otherwise it doesn't work. I'll fire that, and that's reading at right around 8 milliamps. There's kind of some funky stuff going on, but if you want to be cutting at 100% for right now, this wants to read 8 to 9 milliamps when you select both of these buttons. So if you have the power set in Retina Engrave at 100%, and this is reading at 8 to 9 milliamps, then you're cutting at 100% power. That's kind of weird. That's not what the instructions will say if you read the manual, but that's what ours is currently functioning as. For more information, check out our wiki. So that's basically everything. If we go to Retina Engrave, this should highlight green and should say USB connection, that bottom left-hand corner. That should be good. So we're going to do another thing. We're going to actually test out the laser cutter. We're going to make sure that everything works. We need to make sure that the Z height of our laser cutter is set properly. So I'm going to single-handedly drop that. Put this right here. We've got some other stuff in here that's not cool. This should ideally be a nice clean bed every single time you see it. If it's not clean, then you'll have to clean it yourself and remind people that they should clean the laser cutter when they're done using it. All that fun stuff. So we've got our material in there. One of the things this laser doesn't do is it doesn't auto-adjust the Z height of it. The Z height being the vertical height of the laser right there. So you got this series of mirrors, you got a mirror back there, mirror here, and if the height's not set, then the focal point of the laser is going to be inaccurate, and you're not going to get as good a cut as you want or an engraving. So that's not quite at the right spot. I've got to raise this guy a little bit. So let's see. So we hold this here, we can get some really blurry cam footage. There's some screws that lie underneath the laser cutter. There's 4 of them, and if you turn them, it will raise or lower the bed. In this case, ours was too high, so I'm going to lower it about, I don't know, a 1/4 inch. Take this piece of plastic, which is tethered to the laser cutter. It's our ruler, and that should just fit right underneath there. Shouldn't be really any room for wiggle, but it doesn't have to sit really, really hard. So that just slides right in and out. I can't really lift it up at all, so that's good. So the Z height is good. This is in there. I'm going to close this guy real quick. I'm going to do another test fire. This will actually burn my material, so test fire. Again, that is working. We have a nice little dot there. So that's it. We've checked air intake. We've checked air coming out. We've checked the water pump down there. We've checked our Z height there. We also know what material we're cutting. We're cutting balsa wood, basswood. It's really important that you know what your material is. If you don't know what your material is, then you should research that before cutting it so that you don't kill people or damage the laser cutter. That's about it for this video. We're going to return back to the computer. We're going to get everything set up and let's check that out. So, resume. We've got our item right here.